Okay, I'm pretty sure you already have my the Zoom information. I already sent with an email, so you can join. We want to start with a Zoom meeting with Mark, Mark Coursera. He's going to talking about your job market prospect. Okay, all right, great. Join with computer audio. Hi. Yes, start video.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Tang. How are you this morning?
Very good, very good. I am, yes, start video. I don't know why my video is not working. Probably my video is working for other video conferencing one, the class things. So that's why it's not allowed to work for Zoom meeting.
So can our other students see us?
Actually, I am connecting with the the class video conferencing, but most of the students are not. So probably they can connect the audio, video, whatever they want. Actually, they want to have a video in this meeting. They can just disconnect the BBB and connect with this with the video setting. So it's not a big issue. Okay.
Let's see, we got 9 folks so far. Can anybody hear me or see me out there, students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Fantastic. I'm going to share my screen.
All right. So if you are in my classroom, the BBB, okay, big blue button, okay, classroom. We wanna start with the Mark Coursera's presentation about your job market prospect. Okay, so it's worth to know. Okay, so how's your job market is going? So please go ahead. We are gonna start with a Zoom meeting. Okay, then after this meeting, so we will continue one more presentation. Okay, probably Tim Baldwin will present it, and then we continue simulations. So today will be a little bit busy back and forth between Zoom meeting and this web conference meeting. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna open both Zoom and this BBB, big blue button. So I'm gonna here. So if you have any question, if you have any problem, let me know. Okay? So now it's time to join. It's time to join the Zoom meeting. Okay, the Zoom meeting. Zoom information is available on your previous email.
Is everybody? Some folks are still joining.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it. I'm leaving it up here. I can admit everybody. So let's just give it a couple more seconds.
Okay. Okay, I think we have most students. Okay, some students are traveling, okay, for athletic activities. So,
Okay, do you have a list, Dr. Kang? Do you know who's on?
all right, so I guess most of the students are here. So I'm gonna start today's meeting. Okay. So today's meeting will be start with the Mark Kozera. Mark Kozera is the director of engagement in the College of Business. So he is going to talk about the your job market prospect. Okay. So it is not the long time ago, it was not scheduled a long time ago, but it's worth to know how your job market is going. So that's why we suddenly schedule these presentations. Okay. So Mark, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, please go ahead.
All right, so can I, just a confirmation, can everybody see the title of this presentation and hear me okay?
Yes, I am.
All right, so thank you for the opportunity to bring you up to date on kind of where the job market is. We spend a lot of time in the Center for Personal and Professional Development monitoring the job market, just A, general interest, but B, part of our job to try to be able to talk about relevant current events to our students and graduating seniors. So I've got a bunch of material here. We'll blow through it. We'll allow for Q&A at the end. And really, if you have a question that's just burning, go ahead and speak up right away. And try to address it at that end. And then we're going to talk about some upcoming events and then some just to help you prepare, etc. So, let me go to from the beginning. All right. So at a macro level of the unemployment situation, is this entire class seniors? Is that right? Capstone seniors is the audience?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Just very quickly, dating back December of 19, the jobless rate was at 3.6%. We've got a combination of some folks in here that's considered full employment. Everybody was feeling good about a year ago, or well, a little before a year ago, because the pandemic was officially announced like yesterday. But hottest job market in decades. And then a year ago, leading into April, 22 million jobs were lost in a 2-month period of time. Unprecedented. A lot of uncertainty. How bad was COVID going to be? This was all related to COVID. All the, the markets were strong, but COVID was a killer. And so 22 million jobs were lost. As you well know, you guys were on spring break and you never had a chance to come back to finish your semester here on campus. There were people that have lost their jobs and never regained them. It's predominantly in the service sector. Anyway, net loss was at the end of 2020. So in December of this year, there was still a net loss of $9.4 million or million jobs for the year. And the December jobless rate, which is at 6.7. So it had bounced a little bit, but then COVID started reappearing and the economic recovery as we knew it slowed considerably. Hang on, we got one more person admitting here. Let me admit them. So is anybody familiar with, and there was speculation, was it going to be a V-shaped recovery, a U-shaped recovery, a Nike swoosh recovery, or a K recovery? Is anybody familiar with the K recovery model, that analogy, as it relates to unemployment and the economic recovery in America? Please speak up. Anybody? Okay. So envision a K, the initial K, And, the top half, it goes down and then it goes back up. And the second half, it goes down and the letter ends on the bottom. And essentially, there's been a K recovery for white collar, office related jobs, professional jobs. People were sent home quickly. The virtual world exploded just like Barry responded in the virtual world. Stocks tanked, investments tanked, 401ks tanked. But by the end of December of this past year, stock markets had returned to record highs. So if you were in that top half of the K, your life was disrupted, but kept your job. A lot of people did, and your investments, your savings returned to normal. You were in the bottom half of that K, the lesser educated, the service industry, particularly the service sector, more so than even manufacturing, some of the blue collar. People lost their jobs, retail, restaurants, everything. They lost their jobs, and those are the last jobs that are going to return. They have not returned to date. That's part of this $9.4 million jobs that are still lost over there. And people have spent every dollar they have trying to stay in their house, etc. So it's a tale of two cities, if you will. And the hope is that with the opening of economies, I don't know if you've heard, but Texas and Mississippi have just declared that they are 100% open for business. It's business as usual. And whether that's premature or not, we're going to know our time, but that's going to allow all these service sector jobs, travel, airlines, hotels, to hopefully return to pre-pandemic levels. If that's true, it's going to bounce back for a lot of reasons. And various projections are that job growth in 2021 is going to range between 5.3 to 6.7 million jobs, making up, 2/3 of this $9.4 million net loss. And then unemployment, where it was at 3.6 in December, it was 6.7. It might be back down to 4.3% at the end of the year. How does that affect you? Because you're going to be looking for jobs, many of you, in May, which is less than 2 months away. But uncertainty is still the name of the game. A lot of vaccinations going on. The numbers have been going down. It's spring break. The president is trying to tell everybody to just take the long game and be observant and stay smart over the next 60 days. And let's get X number of million more people vaccinated. And then starting in the summer, the economy can really start returning, and there'll be enough vaccinations out there that hopefully it'll sustain itself all the way through the year. And we all hope that. And obviously, as you guys are entering the job market in May, or looking now, that'll all be good for you. If it doesn't go that way, it'll be less good. But overall, most observers are very optimistic of a strong recovery this year, which bodes well for the job market. All right. Any questions? That's the macro. Any questions on that? If you want to put a chat, throw a chat in there. That would be fine. But if not, we'll move on. All right. So come on. Hang on here. Sorry, all. I think I skipped a slide. So next several slides are going to be from the labor market insight from a company called Burning Glass Technologies. This is a Boston software group that just collects data from all over the United States, one of the leading institutes that track labor statistics. And some of these summaries, just at a very high level summary, this is from February of 20 through January of 2021, and it comprises these 5 states: Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. So that is, those are the states involved. And the top industries reporting jobs during this period, this annual period, general medical and hospital. A lot of that's clinical, but otherwise insurance carriers, surprisingly, as you look out there for jobs, and that was my world. I spent 26 years in the insurance industry, actually 28, but 26 directly related. Insurance carriers are one of the highest areas to find jobs related to business degrees. Another strong industry is depository or credit intermediation. Like, what the heck is that? But those are all the ways you manage money these days, and that is through Venmo, PayPal, Apple Wallet, anywhere where you're moving currency and software applications. All these companies are out there. There's a lot of demand for that. Now, some of that is in technology, obviously, software development, but still fundamental principles of business adhere to that. So that's a good one. Colleges and universities, professional schools are hiring, and then there's broad area management, scientific consulting. Skill clusters. So as you look at yourself and what can I do? What are my skills that you need to anticipate out there? This is what Burning Glass is reporting that companies are seeking, and they are scanning literally millions of jobs and job postings that made up this year study, those 12 months in this 5-state region. And information technology, Microsoft Office and productivity tools. So some other software tools, Power BI, Tableau, other data and analysis tools, customer client support, business product management, sales, general sales. There'll always be a need for companies to have people that can relate and sell and generate revenue for them. Business processes and analysis. There's a lot of analysis jobs out there. Artificial intelligence just continues to make great headway. You probably all have taken classes from Dr. Monroe White and have learned from that, but that's not going away. That's going to increase. So anything to boost your skills in these areas would make you more attractive for employers as you search for jobs. For those of you in finance, general accounting, there's always a need for that, so that is good. And then quality assurance and control, business, that's KPIs, key performance indicators, some of what Dr. Grout has taught, supply chain management. Again, a lot of that is analysis, data, tracking data, and you know, these indicators, either manufacturing practices or also service practices, as companies try to very analytically analyze how are their practices, either how are their services or production practices. These are all skills in high demand. So what have you studied? What have you done? What have you learned that would apply to these skills? That's what companies are seeking. Additionally, most common qualifications: customer service, scheduling, sales, budgeting, project management is strong. Be able to talk about that. Patient care, that's clinical. That gets back to the healthcare setting from the top industries. And then teaching, which is education, not very germane to you guys. Unless you got into HR, human resources, or training and development for a company, which uses communication skills, things of that nature. Skill projections that are growing nationally: IT, Microsoft Office, productivity tools, customer service, you can get it, you see it there, business. Again, finance, budget management, and always sales. Some additional insights, human resource, employee training, data analysis, data warehousing, data visualization, data. So hopefully in your education here at Berry, as you've taken classes, you know, the business world still functions on Excel. There's lots of ways to capture data. At the end of the day, most companies export it to Excel and do their day-to-day operations out there, although it is changing in more sophisticated companies.
Bart, actually, in the data things, is there any possible, or is there any possible certificate to show, you know, that our students have the, you know, this skill, you know, about the data?
So there are certifications out there. There's some classes with Google Analytics. I mean, Google's a dominant player in there. We've talked about LinkedIn Learning. Once you graduate, students, you will have access to LinkedIn Learning as a byproduct of your Berry education. You can get certifications on that in Microsoft Excel, and there's classes in Tableau, etc. So the certifications are very important. If you have one or can get one during the summer to boost your skills, those are two areas to go to that, either Google Analytics or use LinkedIn to really improve your skills. At the end of the day, you got to use these things that you learn to really get proficient at it. You can study it, but if you don't have opportunities to put it to use, you know, it's going to go away. But those are two sources I would recommend, Dr. Ken. Good question.
All right, good.
Any other questions from students? All right, so handshake, we've beaten that to death. The business business group, the business school leads the way. Hang on one second. Got stats on the Campbell School of Business here. We did a recent. So the Campbell School of Business has a 64% activation rate overall with all students. And seniors have a 78.7% activation rate. If you're not activated, we know who you are. If you are activated, we know who you are. If you're not in that 78% though, there's still time to do that, and I would encourage you to do that, and you could go right to this website, berry.joinhandshake.com. So, you know, almost 4 out of 5 seniors have activated their handshake account, and that's the highest we've ever had here, and we've only had handshakes since August of this year. So congratulations to the Campbell School seniors. You really have led the way in the college. And again, you will have access to handshake after you graduate. That does not disappear on May 8th. So would encourage you to continue to build your profile. And one more time, Handshake's niche is their labor source is college students for internships and for graduates, which is what you're going to be come May. And the employers and the jobs they are posting, the recruiting and talent acquisition, the jobs that are being listed are designed for their labor supply, which is college students. So there's Glassdoor, there's Indeed, there's LinkedIn. All of those are much more broad in the nature of their jobs, but Handshake is listing college graduate level jobs coming out of universities graduating and internship. All right, and let's see if this works real quickly here. Might not. I'm going to quickly try to go to. Hang on here. So if you go to events, students, real quickly. Gotta switch users, sorry. Students. So we got lots of events coming up. Wanted to take you there. Hopefully you've been in playing with jobs and interns and filters there. But if you go to your basic screen and you click events, here's just a host of events that are coming up. And included in that are some, we've opened up events sponsored by larger companies. These are broadly based, they're not Berry events. We have our own internal Center for Personal and Professional Events, but Morgan Stanley is doing that. So again, for finance business majors, JP Morgan, there's all kinds of events that go on here, okay? And I would encourage you to look at them, as well as the jobs. All right, upcoming events. Seniors, you should have all received a couple of invitations for a virtual Viking Connections event, which is a week from this coming Monday. It's in Handshake. You register in Handshake. It's on Monday night, March 32nd at 6 p.m. It is specifically for industries regarding accounting, commercial banking, investment portfolios, and management consulting, okay? Most of these are alumni, but not all. So far, we have 10 companies that have signed up. Fulton & Kozak, local accounting firm, BDO, which is Governmental Agency USA and Worldwide, Brookfield Asset Management, they manage real estate and investments, graphic packaging. This is a CPA firm. Truist, formerly SunTrust. Invesco, John Coleman on our board of trustees. We've had students there in the past. We've done internships. BlackRock is the largest investment company in the world. We've done alum Jessica Gross, who went there, Slalom Consulting, and Aon. This list will grow. I hope to have 2 to 4 more companies that are represented. We're trying to intentionally keep this smaller in nature than our traditional one. It will be virtual. We're doing it on GatherTown. There's an invitation out there, or just go into Handshake and scroll down to March 22nd and register for this, and then send in your resume, okay? We did our first one this past Monday, focusing on public relations, advertising, digital technology. We had 20 students and ended up with 12 employers. We used a different video platform besides Zoom, but we're all sick of Zoom. And it allowed you to interact. It was almost like a Mario Brothers format. You were allowed to move around and you entered spaces where the employers were and had conversations with them. And then you could just excuse yourself and go to the next room and visit people at your pace, at your leisure. Used it first time, it worked well. Student feedback was very positive. So right now we have 9 students registered for this. There's not going to be a better opportunity to work on your networking skills, meet some people, get some information about what's going on besides listening to me go on, and start building your network. And these people can introduce you to other Berry alumni and network. So we've got capacity for 11 more, and I would encourage you to sign up today. So a couple of other events. Again, that's Virtual Viking on the 22nd. Immediately preceding the event at 5 o'clock, we're going to do a pizza and prep party up here in Cranner or virtual. We're going to demo GatherTown so you learn how to navigate this new video platform. We'll quickly cover networking, elevator pitch or conversation, and we'll excuse you and eat some pizza, and you'll have plenty of time to get situated to join the actual networking, which is only going to run 6 to 7:15. So you got an hour and 15 minutes to interact with clients. And this is in lieu of us taking everybody down to Atlanta. Some other events, we have mock interviews on March 18th. You could sign up for that. And in Handshake. There's just like 4 or 5 slots for that. It's going to be with a local banker that's hired very students, a greater community bank. If you've never interviewed, it's a skill that you need to practice and learn. I'd encourage you to fill those spots. We have plenty of graduating seniors, and work on your interviewing skills. Here would be a great time. It's like 45-minute interview. Caroline McFry would also pick apart your resume a little bit. There is a statewide GACE job fair, which is traditionally held in Atlanta at the Galleria in Marietta. It's going to be virtual. There'll be 100+ employers at this event, I'm sure. You could sign into that through Handshake, and then other events. Coming down to the end of it, just got a couple more slides. Resumes are available. Look at your resumes. I've taught to many classes on that. Align your resume with the job you're seeking. Very quickly, I had a young lady in my office today working on a resume. She actually wanted to apply for a CIA job in operations, director of operations, the Department of Operations there. I mean, you can imagine how competitive the CIA is. As we were looking through her history here at Berry, whatnot, at the end of the day, their requirements, they were looking for people with international experience and foreign language skills. Her father happened to be a colonel in the Army who had lived in 5 different countries, and she had lived in these 5 countries and had gone to schools, local schools in each of these countries. And she knew like 6 languages or could speak several fluently. Her resume, we immediately elevated that to the top of her resume. That's what they were looking for. She was smart. She was in college. They didn't care about that. They were looking for somebody who had had some international experience and knew languages. So we focused on that. That's where she aligned with. And then in a virtual world, students interviewing, if you get an interview and it's going to be virtual, most likely, you got to be able to project and articulate and tell your story. And it's more difficult doing it over a screen like we are today than it is in person, which is why that mock trial is important. But interviewing is storytelling. Tell me about a time when, as opposed to just kind of checking off what things you did. Finally, this is the last slide before Q&A. There's NACE competencies. Again, this is what companies are looking for. Your ability to, all these companies want critical thinking, good communication skills, your ability to work in a team, from digital technology, leadership, work ethic, global cultural fluency. As you've gotten a good education at Berry and have worked through our life work programs or done other things, your ability to demonstrate these skills within your resume and then to be able to talk about them when you interview for a job are going to be key. So where were you in a leadership? Could be an RA, could be in an enterprise job, could be working on another team, could be in a club or organization. You know, how did you have to critically think and problem solve? Well, everybody's got a COVID story. We all had to adjust to this Zoom world. When have you demonstrated these good oral and written communication skills? A lot of athletes, teams. Think about that, not only as you prepare your resume, demonstrating those skills, but when you interview. With that, it's 12:32. I'd open up for Q&A. We're up here. You can schedule an appointment with me, another career advisor, through Handshake. So I'll stop and see if anybody's got any questions.
All right, no question, comment? All right, so if you don't have any other questions, thank you so much, Mark. So we are gonna go back to our classroom and then we're gonna continue. And if I have any other questions from the students, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, everybody. Come visit if you want, Mike.
All right, let's go back to our classroom. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, great. Okay. All right, so most of us are here. So, all right, I'm gonna wait one more minute. Now we can continue. So it's good, right? It's good. So you have a sense about your job market, and then work closely with him. Okay, so he's okay. So it will be good. It will be good. All right. So we have some students who are traveling, but most of the students are here. So how was it? The presentation. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are going to continue. We will continue our presentations. One more team, right? Baldwin, team 2. Okay. So let's talk about the simulation again. Okay. All right. Then you have a time. Actually, we don't have enough time to do those today. Okay. So team Baldwin, who is gonna be a presenter? Carson. So Carson, you are the presenter right now.
Okay, can you see?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so here is our presentation for the first practice round. The strategy that we use was a strategy which is narrow product lines, buyer segments, or targeted geographic markets. We selected a segment or a group of segments and tailored the strategy to serve them. And with this strategy, we gained an advantage through dedicating our focus to only specific segments. And as well as doing that, we kept an eye on internal operations and market preferences.
So there's some potential pitfalls by using this strategy, and those include the erosion of cost advantages within the narrow segment, and it highly focuses on the products that still have competition from new entrants and imitation threats, and then focusers could become too focused for the buyer's needs.
Right.
Moving forward, we're integrating low-cost strategies and differentiation strategies, and this is to make it difficult for other teams to duplicate or imitate us. The combination strategy to add a unique value to our company. We're using the previous round to do data analytics and learn where we can perform better and keep doing the things we do well. Mm-hmm. And then we're also making sure we don't get stuck in the middle like the chapter case we read about.
Okay.
And here were our overall results for the simulation. Our cumulative profit was $8.8 million, which shows that our focus on the product was beneficial. And so our profit was greater than zero, which means our stock price increased. Along with this, we were able to produce at least 95% of the demand for our product and didn't carry it for more than 90 days. We didn't use any of our emergency loan, and for next time, we just need to focus on increasing our contribution margin.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, so you are gonna do some dynamics of strategy. So you start with the focus strategy and cost leadership strategy. Then you're gonna move. Okay. So based on this understanding, okay. So this is a practice round 1. Okay. So we're gonna do practice round 2. Okay. So at this point, I want you to have a very good sense about how to play this game. Okay. So you first focus on your perceptual map, right? Perceptual map. size, product size, and performance. Okay? Then you can see how, where you are, and also where other teams are. Okay, based on this understanding, okay, you can choose your target market. All right, the target market. Okay. This is a strategy, right? So if you choose, okay, so low cost market, okay, that is cost leadership strategy you should follow. Okay. If you choose high performance market, then you should follow product differentiation strategy because of the consistency, your strategy and following decisions. Okay. So based on this big picture, okay, based on this big picture and your decisions, okay, you can make decisions on the functional level strategies. Okay. Like marketing, HR, production, or something like that. Okay. So your strategy, okay, big decisions should be consistent with following decisions. This is internal consistency. All right. Your big decisions about the market should be consistent with the situation of the market. All right. The perceptual map and the simulations. Okay? This is external consistency. So you should have this external and internal consistency. That is how to play this game. Okay. All right. You have a better sense about the simulations? Okay, so now you are ready to move to the. I guess some of your teams already moved to the practice round 2. So it's time to practice. Go to practice round 2. We almost used up some time already, but I'm gonna create breakout rooms, and then duration about whatever, okay, 60 minutes. Then you can go to the breakout rooms, and then you will have your own time to talk about your simulations. Okay, so I'm gonna open this video conferencing about 1 hour. So if you have time after the class, so you can use these, you can stay in this video conference. Okay. All right. So if you have any question, comment, please let me know. If you don't, please go ahead and enjoy your game.